Hey everyone! Quick question. Have you ever bought something, maybe a new phone, a cute outfit, or that clean wellness supplement? And somewhere in the back of your mind, a little voice whispered, "This isn't totally aligned with what I believe, but I'm doing it anyway." You're not weak-willed. You're not hypocritical. You're actually living inside something I call the cognitive dissonance economy, a system where big brands deliberately create contradictions and then sell you the comfort to ignore them. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on exactly how this works, why it's so powerful, and most importantly, how you can start breaking free. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your shopping cart the same way again. Let's start with the psychology basics, because this whole thing is built on one brilliant idea from 1957. Psychologist Leon Festinger discovered something fascinating. When we hold two conflicting beliefs, or when our actions don't match our values, we feel genuine mental discomfort. He called it cognitive dissonance. It's that nagging tension when you know something, but do the opposite. Festinger found we'll do almost anything to reduce that tension, change our beliefs, change our behavior, or, most commonly, find clever ways to justify what we're doing. Now, traditional marketing tried to avoid this discomfort. They wanted you to feel good and confident about buying. But modern brands, they flip the script. They create the discomfort on purpose, and then position themselves as the only ones who can make it go away. Think about it like this. Step 1. Brands figure out what you care about: sustainability, privacy, fairness, health, freedom. Step 2. They build products or practices that actually contradict those values. Step 3. You eventually notice the contradiction, maybe from a news article, a TikTok, or just your own gut. Step 4. Instead of fixing the real problem, the brand hands you a shiny justification, an emotional story, a conscious collection, a promise of "we're getting better," just enough relief to keep you buying. Step 5. You get psychologically hooked, because now the brand feels like your personal dissonance therapist. And that's how loyalty is born today. Not from love, but from dependence. Let's look at some real-world examples. These are going to feel painfully familiar. First, fast fashion. You want cute, affordable clothes. You also don't want to support sweatshops or planetary destruction. Brands like H&M, Zara, Shine know this. So they pump out billions of garments using exploitative labor and unsustainable materials, while running massive campaigns about sustainability and conscious collections. H&M's conscious line is the perfect dissonance pacifier. You buy a $20 eco dress, feel briefly virtuous, and the tension melts away, even though 95% of their business is still the same old fast fashion machine. The contradiction doesn't disappear. It just gets quiet until your next shopping spree. Next, tech and privacy. Apple runs ads saying privacy. That's iPhone. Meanwhile, their entire ecosystem thrives on data collection, app tracking, and partnerships that aren't exactly private. But they give you privacy labels and app tracking transparency, little features that make you feel in control. It's what experts call privacy theater. The contradiction stays, but the discomfort gets soothed just enough. Then there's luxury goods. You want to feel unique and exclusive, but you're buying from massive corporations producing items by the thousands. Luxury brands solve this by creating artificial scarcity, limited drops, wait lists, exclusive access. You know deep down it's manufactured exclusivity, but the story feels so good, you keep paying the premium. And finally, the wellness industry, maybe the sneakiest of all. You feel stressed, toxic, overwhelmed by modern life. Brands sell detox teas, superfood powders, $5,000 retreats, promising purification and peace. But many of these products have zero scientific backing, and the same companies often profit from the stressful systems making you feel bad in the first place. The contradiction? You're trying to heal from a toxic world by consuming more stuff from that same world. Yet the beautiful Instagram aesthetic and the promise of self-care make the dissonance fade temporarily. So why does this work so well? because resolving dissonance feels like emotional relief, almost a high. Every time you accept the brand's justification, your brain gets a little hit of consistency. And over time, that turns into habit. You don't just buy the product anymore. You buy the story that lets you sleep at night. And here's the scary part. The more you practice this mental gymnastics, the better you get at ignoring contradictions, not just in shopping, but everywhere. You start accepting good enough excuses in politics, work, relationships. Critical thinking dulls. Agency shrinks. Financially, it's expensive. You pay premiums for the emotional comfort. You buy more often trying to finally get it right. You stick with one brand across categories because switching would mean facing the dissonance all over again. And markets get distorted. Companies that are best at storytelling win, even if their products or ethics are mediocre. So, is there a way out? Absolutely. And it starts with you. Here are 5 practical strategies to break the cycle. Number 1, do a contradiction audit. Before a big purchase, literally write down, what do I say I value, and what does this brand actually do? Look up supply chains, labor reports, real environmental impact, not just the brand's website. Number 2, get comfortable with discomfort. It's okay if no purchase is perfect. Tolerating a bit of dissonance without rushing to soothe it with shopping is a superpower. Number 3, diversify your information. Follow journalists, workers, independent reviewers, anyone not paid by the brand. The more outside perspectives you have, the harder it is for marketing to control the narrative. Number 4, practice purchase intentionality. Ask yourself, am I buying this because I need it and it aligns, or because I want the emotional relief right now? Be brutally honest. And number 5, talk about it with people who don't share your brand loyalties. Friends outside your bubble will spot contradictions you've trained yourself to ignore. On a bigger level, we need systemic change, mandatory transparency laws, better advertising rules, education about these tactics in schools. But real change starts when enough of us stop rewarding the manipulation. Look, the cognitive dissonance economy exists because it's profitable and because we let it soothe us. But we can choose something different. We can demand brands that don't need fancy stories because their actions already match their words. We can build habits rooted in clarity, not comfort. And we can reclaim the mental space that's currently being rented out to corporate psychologists. So next time you feel that little tug, that quiet contradiction before clicking add to cart, pause. Listen to it. That discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your compass. Thanks for watching. If this video made you think twice about your next purchase, hit that like button, drop a comment with the brand that gives you the most dissonance, and subscribe for more deep dives into how the world really works. Turn on notifications, because next week we're talking about something equally mind-bending. Until then, shop a little less automatically and live a little more intentionally. See you in the next one.